All right, we're back. Today we're working on a parking lot area. I've been having problems with drainage, so you can see the water comes in from pretty much all direction, and this is kind of a low spot, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the grade. So by hand, I kind of dug where the grade should be. And then I'm going to kind of create a lower spot, and then where the X is, I'll have a drain that will go out and go underground. So once I got that grade area figured out, I kind of came back with the Coyote and got after it with the box blade and started removing some material. I tell you, these chickens are no joke. This orange chicken just wants to be run over. It's so frustrating when you're in the middle of this, and so I tried to catch him, but I didn't have a whole lot of luck. So I got back on, got back to work, and of course she comes right back. And the black chicken's back too. Eventually, after almost running over it several times, I said, "That's it!" I went and got some food. I can always entice her with a little bit of food. Took a little bit, but eventually, I got her. You have to let her get her to trust you. Then you grab her. But that's no problem. So now it's back to work. The ground here's got a layer of clay in it. It's been tough to kind of get that blade to really dig in. By adjusting it just a little bit, you really can move around how much you're digging in. But I got after it, and now you can see I'm just starting to shape this area. Rooster came by to check it out. This is my neighbor's tractor. He's very kind to let me use it. It's got a low, medium, and high, and then within there's like 4 gears. So you can really dial in how fast you want to go. The hope here is to have 8 to 10 cars being able to park here. I was kind of back and forth on what I wanted to do as far as what type of material I wanted to bring in. You'll see later what I chose. Ended up using just mainly the bucket to take care of business, to get it all smoothed out. It did a pretty good job. You can see the tree in the background. I'm planning on having the majority of the dead stuff cut off. I'm on the list. Out here, it seems to take 3 to 4 months just to get on the list there to get it done. But it's a local guy. He's going to take care of it. My plan is to separate the stone product that I'm going to use from some landscaping stuff. So I looked into lots of different edging, and the metal edging is kind of nice, but it gets pricey, and you really can't drive on it or anything. So I think I decided to go with a concrete edge. So it's a matter of just making the forms, getting the right elevation on the forms, making sure it's all pitched the way. And here you can kind of see my drain there that I've got about halfway down. A buddy of mine let me use his cement mixer. It holds 2 80-pound bags, no problem. Got to work. Whenever you're doing these types of projects by yourself, you're always trying to find that rhythm. Eventually I found it. In the beginning here, I'm just kind of running around. but we got the rhythm going. Plus, you always get the concrete jitters, like it's going to set up instantly or something. But this bagged product, you got some time to work with it. It was a hot day, but you still had plenty of time to work with it. Screeding it off, making it flat. I threw some rebar in it, the entire length. I want to say the length of it was maybe 70 feet. I think I had 70 feet into it or so, maybe a little longer. Originally, I was going to do just a ditch that the water would go down, and I did that. I did that in the beginning, but I didn't like the whole ditch thing. And then when you're mowing and you're having to mow around a ditch or through the ditch, I decided not to do the ditch. I went with the pipe, and so we'll see how that goes. Ducks in the background, taking care of business. They eat a ton of mosquitoes, and back in there, all kinds of mosquito larvae back in there. So I appreciate them working just as hard as I am. Process here is just mix it up, dump it out in the wheelbarrow, and get it into your form. And then come back, screed off the top, level it off. Then I do the edges and make sure it's smooth along the top. It's not rocket science, but I really like the way it turns out here. Here I'm forming in where the drain is at. It's a catch basin style drain. Figure if I get any stones or anything in there, I can just undo the drain top and get anything out of there. Here I'm doing the edges. The signature black socks that I have, I get made fun of all the time. I almost can't wear anything else. Reminds me of Roger Federer. He always wears the black socks, but make fun all you want. I'll continue wearing the black socks. Most people do the ankle socks. Yeah, I can't get into the ankle socks. But another great day down here in South Georgia. I really made sure to rinse out any of the concrete that was in the mixer. I did not want to be that guy who leaves cement in the mixer and it hardens up, and that's not cool. The wheelbarrow, I recently changed it out to a solid tire wheelbarrow, and I don't know about it. I'm still on the edge of if I like it or not. I like my old pneumatic wheel. I felt like you can move it around better. But this one obviously will never pop. The wooden markers in the background are for proposal of some trees I think I want to put in. This area recently, or when they developed this area, they took out a bunch of the trees. I'd like to get some trees in there. So I don't know what I'm going to do, if it's going to be a fruit tree or a longer lasting tree, like just throwing a live oak or a water oak or something. But if you guys have ideas about trees, leave it in the comments. This landing pad that putting in, or parking lot, whatever you want to call it, it services the backside of the service building that we have here on property. It's where we keep everything behind doors. Nothing worse than coming up to a property and seeing a bunch of junk. So there's no junk visible. And when I say junk, I'm talking like your lawnmower and your wheelbarrow and your tools. It gives it a nice clean look, and it protects it. Chicken just went over my curb. Thank you very much, Chicken. We're on a artesian well here on property, which is new to me. I'm used to Colorado where water is a very scarce resource. But down here it's just flowing out of the ground. Trying to get the shape of this drain. It's amazing with concrete, the little marks that you leave behind, they show up in the end product. So over the years dealing with concrete, it's, you got to get it perfect. It will show any type of sway or swirl that you got in it. So it's good to get it taken care of. I used to hire a lot of people in a previous job that I had. And one of the things you would ask them is, what's the hardest thing that you've ever worked at? And I really wasn't as much concerned about what it actually was, but I wanted to know what their idea of hard work was. I wonder if you've ever been asked that at a job interview. It's been interesting over the years, but most people would say just raising kids. It's one of the hardest things that they've worked at. Would you agree? I recently did some sidewalks around this building, and it was about 7 yards of concrete I ordered, and I was waiting for a buddy of mine to help me, and it turned out my nephew came up, and he's never worked with concrete, but I said, well, the two of us, we should be able to get it. Well, that day ended up being like 90 degrees, full sun, and I ended up almost passing out. It was close. I felt so bad. The delivery driver was kind of like, you doing all right? He really stepped up as much as he could. Obviously, he couldn't get into the concrete, but he was helping out as much as he could. I had to take about 10, 15 minutes and just recover. And my nephew, he's an EMT, so he said, down the sugar water and the salt water. So besides it almost making me gag, I got it down, and man, I tell you, that made a huge difference. So here I am, just getting the area flattened out after the concrete is dried. I've taken off the forms. Basically prepping for a stone delivery. And it took a while to find some stone. I don't know if you guys all have problems. Sometimes just finding the right delivery guy with the right product. It's been a little tough. I'm not familiar with this, so I'm always sending them pictures of what I'm looking for. But so I finally hooked up with this guy, and it came from about an hour away. It's almost a little depressing when you get a delivery like this. You expect it just to be flowing, just a huge pile of material because you've spent so much money on it. Then it comes and you're like, that's it? But I'm thankful, and it turns out real nice. I love these drivers too. They're always decent folks, He's a good dude. Since this, I did put in some concrete washout, which is just to the right of that pile. And I had just some soft soil that was too spongy. And so I needed to firm it up, so I had a guy bring out some some concrete washout. It had a bunch of boulders and stuff in it, but I got that out, and the product really firmed up. It made that whole area just nice and solid. So just having a good base. What I'm putting on here, the base is super hard. There's a pretty thick layer of clay or something. I mean, it is solid. So the problem is when you get rain, it just sits on top. And if you don't have it anywhere for it to go, it just becomes a big mess. Got one of these Midwest rakes. I think it's called like for ponds and stuff. Man, it works out really good for a product like this. Nice and wide. You can move it around. No more grater on the back here. Now we got the brush hog on. But that's all right. I just need to use the bucket now. So thankful for the Quixote moving around that material. Just huge. I've been trying to find someone who's got a bobcat that I could rent. You know, renting from a rental place is fine, but for me, I'm not real talented, and I can't do all this within a 24-hour period, and trying to line up material, and so I get a little nervous. It gets expensive. I mean, I'd love to find somebody in the area that's got a bobcat that I could just rent, maybe by the hour or whatever. Someone who doesn't need it every single day. That'd be the perfect situation. I've run into situations like that before where I've done that. Just haven't found that yet down here, which I get. But I know someone's got one sitting in a garage that I could rent from. Main thing I'm doing with the rake here is just to kind of see how thick it is. It ends up being about 2 to 3 inches for everywhere, which I think is going to be a good amount. One of my strengths, but it can be a weakness at times, is focus. Man, I get so focused on something, and it's just like, I'm going to do that. But the weakness side of it is you get so focused on it, you miss things. And so I'm always trying to make sure I'm not missing stuff. But a lot of times I just forget to set up even the video equipment because I'm just, let's get it done, let's go for it. And then I forget. But here I'm just cleaning out some of the product. It ended up being a little bit more than I thought it was going to have, so I wanted to spread it out in front of the other side here by the sidewalk. You know, guys that do this every day, they're really skilled. I love a good machine operator, man. They can just get after it. At some point, you just gotta stop digging into the pile and just start moving it around, raking it around. So that's what I'm doing here. Trying not to go too low. So this is what it looks like after one load. It's about 18 yards. Now I got another load coming. Turns out to be the same guy came back. Originally he said, oh, it's too far, but he came back. He said things were a little slow. Good guy.
Wanted to tell you a little bit about why I chose this product. This is they say a number 89 crushed limestone. It's hard to find down here in my area. I'm a little more rural, and so I've got to pay a little bit more to get it brought in. It comes out of Florida. The reason why I chose this is, one, it compacts really nice. The edges have like a square edge on it as opposed to a rounded edge. So it does compact eventually, and so if you put it down maybe 2-3 inches, you're doing you're doing pretty good. This area is relatively flat, and so trying to get the grade to the pitch to go exactly where I wanted, it's a little difficult. Getting this product, what it does is the rain is allowed to just go right into it, and it almost acts like a cistern. So there's a bunch of, it can hold a bunch of water, but you're not going to be standing on water. This is going to be a just a parking spot for our coffee shop, on-site coffee shop, and parking for those that are going to be staying in the tiny home as well. We do have day events that come out, and so we needed a spot for people to be able to come in and park their vehicles.
It gives you a little different perspective of what we got going on here. Those are 10-foot by 10-foot garage doors. That's about all I could get. There's only about, there's not quite 12 feet of clearance there from the concrete pad to the rafters. I'll just let you enjoy a real novice trying to spread this this dirt. It's good times. If you look to the left there, you can see a little kiddie pool. No, that is not for me. We have 5 ducks that enjoy that. My sister-in-law got that when she was down here. And blows my mind. We have a little pond, pretty good sized pond. So that's why I refused to get the pool. But for some reason, the ducks do not go in the pool. Figure that one out. If you know why the ducks aren't going in the pool, let me know in the comments. But they love that little pool. My wife fills it up and they come over and check it out every time. Clean themselves up and have a good old time on there. The plan is to keep grass between where you're looking here and the truck there. I think I want to do grass, but I got to do some sort of walkway, and so I may use the same product and make a small walkway that's next to the barn there that folks can walk on, especially if it's wet out. Because this product is great when it's wet because it doesn't hold any moisture, but it will be an area that people can drive back to because, like I said, the tiny home is back there, and so we want to make it easy for folks. So if they're dropping off their luggage or whatever, or even just going there, we don't mind you taking your vehicle back there. So, but I think grass is the better option. Just knocking down any area that I might need the tractor anymore, but I think that's pretty much here. Here you can see after a bunch of rain we've had, that's what the driveway used to look like, but now she's beautiful.